Hello and welcome to Jazz Guitar Chord Melody Part 25. Hi, this is Mike Hayes, and in this session we're going to learn the F major scale tone 7th chords. We're going to look at how to harmonize the F major scale as 6th chords, and of course we're going to study the B section of Lady Be Good. But before we get started, just a quick reminder to subscribe if you haven't already, so you'll be notified just as soon as our latest videos are available. Now let's pick up where we left off from our last video. So we're going to work on the A section of Oh Lady Be Good, and the first thing we're going to do today is select certain notes in the melody where we'll place a chord underneath them. So let's take the melody bar for bar. In bar 1, under the C note, let's put an F 6th chord. Now for the next two notes, the B flat and the A, I'm just going to play them as single notes. So we're only playing one chord in the first bar, and that's the idea at the moment. We're trying to find notes that we really want to underline, if you like. We want to highlight the important changes in the harmony, but not clutter up the works by having too many chords. Let's move on to bar 2. Now this is where the basic chord is a B flat 7th, but what I'm going to do is play an F minor 6th. And if you'll recall, that's exactly what we've been doing in our blues chord progression. Remember that we said on a dominant 7th chord, we can play a minor 6th chord on the 5th of the dominant 7th. So the dominant 7th in this instance is B flat 7, its 5th is F, and that's how we arrived at the F minor 6th. Now I'm only going to play the F minor 6th under the first C note in the second bar, and I'm just going to play the second note, the melody note C, just as a single note. Now before we move on to bar 3, I just want to make it clear on how I'm approaching this. I've decided that I really only need to play 7 chords in the first 8 bars of Lady Be Good to highlight the harmonies that I want to highlight. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to circle the points in the melody for Lady Be Good. I just want to circle the 7 points where I've decided to put a chord under the melody. Now the way you can do this, you can go through and just hum the melody, strum the chords, and decide for yourself which melody note you want to place a chord under. So with this approach, we're trying to minimise the number of chords that we play. Right then, let's go back to bar 3. Now as you'll recall, with the vanilla changes, the chord in bar 3 is an F chord. So what I'm going to do here, just for variety, I'm going to play an F6-9 chord. Now since the 6-9 chords are a product of the pentatonic scale, they are by nature ambiguous. They have that vague quality, which can be very useful when you're wanting to create a contrast in your chord melody solo. I'm calling this chord F6-9. You could call it A minor 7 suspended, D minor 7 suspended, C6-9. There'd be many ways that you could think about this chord, but I'm just using it in this instance for variety, to create a different style of F chord. The remaining notes in bar 3, the melody notes A, F and C, I'm going to play as single notes. And now if we move on to bar 4, where we have the melody note C, I'm going to play an F sharp diminished under that note. On to bar 5, and under the C melody note, I'm going to play a G minor 11th chord. And then the rest of the notes in that bar, the B flat, the G and the C, I'm going to play as single notes. On to bar 6, and under the A melody note, I'm going to play a C13. And this style of voicing that I'm using for the C13th is what we call a partial chord. There's no root note, it's just certain notes out of the C13th chord that's implying the dominant 7th sound. Onto bar 7, and under the melody note here, I'm going to play an F6/9 chord. Let's have a listen to how all this sounds. Right then, we're up and running. I'm going to play the same version, the same 8 bars, except what I'm going to do here is put in some turnaround chords. So in bars 7 and 8, where we finished off and just had an F6/9 chord, what I'm going to do here is play an F6/9 chord under the F note, 2 beats. And the idea is I'm wanting to hold the F note over the 2 bars. So what I'm doing is playing chords that contain the note F in them. So I'm playing F6/9, A flat 6, D flat major 7, then C7 suspended. You could put any chord there. You could have F6/9, you could play A flat 13th, G minor 7th to C7 suspended 4th, and so on. The concept is I'm just wanting to have a chord that has the note F in it. And the important thing here is I'm wanting to have that F as the top note in each chord. Let's have a listen to the A section of Oh Lady Be Good with the turnaround. Okay, now we're starting to get some momentum. You'll recall from our previous session, we said that the form for Oh Lady Be Good is AABA. That means we've got the same melody coming around again for the next 8 bars. Now, of course, we could play the same thing that we've just done. We could play it through twice, but I'm going to suggest that we develop our arrangement of Lady Be Good by harmonizing the melody for the second 8 bars with chords from the F major scale tone 7th chord series. But before we can do that, we'll have to learn the F major scale tone 7th chord shapes. Here we go. And now using the scale tone 7th chords, here's one way we could harmonise the second 8 bars of Oh Lady Be Good. Under the C melody note, I could play A minor 7. Under the B flat melody note, I could play G minor 7th. under the A melody note, I could play F major 7th. When we get to the second bar, instead of going straight to the B flat 7th or B flat 9th, I'm going to treat this bar with the two C melody notes. I'm going to treat the first C melody note as being part of an F minor 7th or an F minor 9th. In other words, what I'm wanting to do here is to create a 2-5. So under the first melody note in bar 2, under the C note, I'm going to play an F minor 9th. Of course, you'll see this looks very much like an A flat major 7th chord. And this is because, once again, I'm using partial chords. For the next C melody note, I'm going to play a B flat 13th. Again, a partial chord. On to bar 3, I'm using an F6-9 under the C melody note. I'm leaving the next two melody notes, the A and the F, I'm just playing them as single notes. I'm placing an F6 chord under the C, the last note in bar 3. In bar 4, I'm once again playing an F sharp diminished under the C melody note. And now on to bar 5, and under the C melody note, I'm going to play a G minor 11th chord. The note B flat and G, I'm leaving as single notes. I'm playing a G minor 11 under the last melody note in bar 5, that's the C. Over to bar 6, I'm playing C13 under the A melody note, and then finishing off in bar 7 with an F6-9 chord under the F melody note. Let's have a listen to how that sounds. Okay, time to put A1 and A2 together. Have a listen to bars 7 and 8 for the turnaround. That'll help you keep track of where you are when you're listening to the arrangement. Here we go. And now here's something new for you to think about and practice. So far when we've harmonized a melody, we've used the major 6th diminished scale, or alternatively, we've used the scale tone 7th approach. Now you'll see something on the screen here which is something we haven't discussed so far, and that is the concept of harmonizing a scale in 6th chords. So because we're dealing in the key of F, we have a set of chords when we harmonize an F major scale into 6th chords. On the top row of the chart, you'll see the melody note F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E. Underneath that is how we're going to harmonize the melody note. The first chord will be F6, the second chord will be G minor 6th, the third chord will be A minor flat 6th, the fourth chord will be B flat 6th, fifth chord C6, the sixth chord is D minor flat 6, and the seventh chord will be E diminished flat 6. Now, you will recognise some of these chords by other names. For example, A minor flat 6 could also be thought of as F major 7th. D minor flat 6 could also be thought of as B flat major 7th. And E diminished flat 6th could also be thought of as C 7th. The ability to have these type of harmonic resources at your fingertips is a very useful skill when harmonizing and recolouring tunes. This particular approach of harmonizing a major scale in sixth is used by guitarists such as John Pisano, and I have a link in the description below to other material that you might be interested in. There's a book there by John Pisano that you may be interested in, and also a fantastic book by Alec Wilder called The American Popular Song. So you might like to check those out. Let's practice the key of F major harmonized into 6th chords. And now, just to round things off, let's practice the melody for the B section of Lady Be Good. Okay, that's it for this session. I hope you've got a lot out of it. And as always, if you've got any questions or comments, don't forget to pop them in the comments section below the video. It's always great to hear from you. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.